the thematic and emotional density that is in the movie, it still is a big summer popcorn action movie. And I'm curious, did you feel, in particular in the previous film, there was the long sequence towards the end that took place, set on the Golden Gate Bridge, and did you feel like you had to top that somehow?
Well, here's the crazy thing. We had a battle scene in which you couldn't root for the apes. I mean, I'm sure some people do, because there's that certain pleasure, like going, yeah, here they go, but it's meant to be a tragedy. And that was a challenge, because it was like, here's the moment that supposedly the audience is waiting for, where the apes are holding machine guns in each arm and riding horses and all the stuff that everybody thinks the big summer movie's supposed to do. And I wanted you to feel sadly about it. I wanted you to feel like it was a nightmare, a fever dream, something terrible. And I kept pinching myself that they were letting us make this movie. What you said is exactly right. I couldn't believe, I was like, really? And yeah, that's what we got to do. And it was, the big kind of, I suppose the thing that's sort of the more traditional thing is the mythic showdown, in a way that I absolutely love, between Caesar and Koba, and then Malcolm and Dreyfus below, in this kind of sort of suspense sense. But the actual big, the movie is really, people, they say it's like a war drama, and I think people are expecting, so much of Planet of the Apes is watching the humans get theirs, indulging in the pleasure of watching us, be destroyed by the apes. And I wanted exactly the opposite. And that was a very, it was an untraditional thing, I think, for a studio to let us do.
Mm-hmm. I know, Andy, you might have thoughts on this as well. What is it about just the image of an ape on a horse with a gun that's like crazy and cool and interesting and strange that it's a very compelling image?
Well, it is interesting, isn't it, seeing animals use other animals as transport. I mean, it's just a very bizarre, it's a bizarre concept. I remember we talked about it, it's a very strange thing. I mean, what other situation in life do you see that happen? I mean, you just don't, it just doesn't really happen that often.
It doesn't happen that often, yeah.
I mean, but actually I have to say, that the horses that we had on set, mine was called Shirley, didn't really like us being apes. I mean, we rehearsed with them. We went and had riding lessons before, leading up to the shoot and everything. And when we went to these riding lessons, we went as apes. So we mounted the horses as apes. We dismounted. We held the way that we held them. We were making ape vocalizations and everything, and really just to train them into the fact that when we turned up on set, they weren't going to be freaked out. And when we turned up on set, they were freaked out, and it was.
But in fairness, one of the performers was freaked out about horses, and that created, so he was giving bad mojo to the horses, and then suddenly Shirley was not so happy.
No, she wasn't. And actually, I'm going to hand over to Gary. He can tell you the story really from his perspective as to what he saw when he walks out into as the doors open at the colony.
When they first appear at the compound, and you have that that wonderful shot of a sort of black screen that then sort of separates, and you see Caesar there on the horse, and the horse was he freaked out when you said, "Apes!
Apes! Do not want war!"
And it started doing this sort of sideways kind of I don't know what you call it, a horsey shuffle or something. Yeah. And he hit the other horse, and then the other horse, and then they all started getting freaked out by this. So what happened is they put the main actors of, I think there were about 5 of the, and they put them on red step ladders that they had got from like Home Depot or something like that. So that was my image of first working with Andy Serkis, a man in a unitard with a camera strapped to his head on a step ladder, pretending he's an ape.
thing about them, they don't need power. Lights, heat, nothing. That's their advantage. That's what makes them stronger.
We both have families. You want to protect yours, I want to protect mine. It's our only chance for peace.
Are you aware?
No!
They are going to turn on you.
They're animals!
Caesar, it's your home.
Who was that?
A good man like you. Caesar love humans more than apes.
If you threaten his family, he will retaliate.
Don't shoot! Don't you move!
Should we shoot him?
Maybe.
Hey.
Oh, you want a drink?
All right.
Easy.
Easy.
All right. What are you doing?
I'm saving the human race. Oh my God.
We made contact. Military. They're already on their way.
Caesar, you have to go.
Go where? This is my home.